buttons. It's kind of like I joked about this with Marvin last time I cast it. Last time he was doing the production, and it's kind of like Guitar Hero, where you've got to obviously you've got to hit the buttons. It's like Broadcast Hero, where you've got to hit all the buttons in time to get the scoreboard set up and so on.
Yeah, definitely. So Wardy, take us away.
I will. It's so weird getting to do player introductions, man. It's it's a little bit crazy. In the right-hand corner, we have our red Protoss player representing Cascade. He took map number 1 for them. Can he take them to a 2-0 advantage? It's Zeth. And in the lower left-hand corner, we're going to have a purple Zerg player. The first time I believe he's actually played for mYinsanity in the SC2ITL. It's going to be Serral. A very interesting player, of course. Unless I'm mistaken, he's the breakout Finnish player. He was only 15 or so, and he did crazy at like a dream hack. Really, really amazing player for him. So interested to see what he does here. Cross positions going to be nice for him, of course. No, really reduces the potency of immortal pushes or just 2-phase pushes in general.
Yeah, definitely could see something like that. This map is, it is kind of interesting to witness a match on this map, because Frost, despite being so big, the layout of the map allows for very many different strategies. You can do 2-base timings / all-ins. You can do 3-base all-ins on both sides, as Zerg and as the Protoss as well. You can play swarm hosts, although this map is not the best map for it, due to the chokes in the middle and the area you have to control. You can open Stargate here. You can go Immortal Sentry as a Protoss. You can go DTs because of all the locations where you can put your pylons. And as a Zerg player, you can go for Roachling Aggression. You can go for Hydra Link pushes when the Protoss tries to take the 3rd base off of a Stargate. A lot of possibilities open on this map, and we'll have to see what the players decide to do. Looks like Zeth kind of choosing the Nexus into a gateway opener here. Excuse me, Forge.
Yeah, which is, pretty interesting. We don't see Forge expands quite so much anymore. But he's going to go for this. And it's definitely still a viable strategy, of course. We're not going to, Forge expands are always going to be viable, I think, in PvZ.
Yes.
Unless there's a massive mechanics change of mechanics, because you get this Nexus up very quickly, you get a very strong economy. Yes, you can't be as aggressive as you can with a Gateway Expand, but that's not necessarily needed all the time, not every game. So, sometimes it's just nice to switch things up and go for this. And this is what we're seeing here from Zeth, this Forge Expand. Now getting his Cybernetics core, and, he's just nice and safe here. And expecting Serral to just take a 3rd base very soon.
Yeah, I mean, he did open with a pool, but he did open gasless. He hasn't taken a gas yet, so I really expect him to, as you said. Now, what I'm wondering about is, what is Zeth's follow-up to this going to be? Because if you open with a Forge, one of the biggest advantages of a gateway opener is getting your tech out quicker, getting your mothership core out quicker, so you can put on some pressure on the Zerg. And having faster gateway technology, for example. But with a Forge, in my opinion, your 2 biggest advantages with that opening is either a quick +1 or a ridiculously fast 3rd base, because you have the cannons. And it's going to be a Stargate, so we can see Zeth playing quite an old-school style. This is like Wings of Liberty before Heart of the Swarm, like 2012, 2013.
See Stargate. I like it. I like it.
It's probably going to be... Yeah, probably going to be Phoenixes.
You could see an Oracle thrown in to maybe try and punish a fast Queen at this 3rd base, maybe. Because the creep's not quite over there just yet.
Yeah, that's true.
A bit off guard, but we'll see. It looks as though he's rallying to pick off Overlords, though, so will be Phoenix opening from him. And there is Phoenix number 1 now on the way. And a Rotron for Serral, so just really standard timings here against the Forge Fast Expand, really. He's actually not really drawing up that much. He's a little bit behind on workers, but he will overtake in a few moments here. And his lair just starting up now as well. And just the +1 starting, Sentry, Phoenix. Very passive opening once again here in this game.
Yeah, and Zeth, I think it's very likely that he'll try to take a third base with this. +2 attack obviously is going to be a little bit delayed if he follows up with what I expect him to, and that's going to be the Robotech into Colossus, which is pretty much the most standard way you can play your PVZ as a Protoss. If he does so, then his +2 is going to be delayed compared to a more aggressive progression into Blink and stuff, or maybe Immortals with this opening. 3 additional gateways being added on, a Robo facility, and I'm really expecting a third base to be coming up shortly thereafter with the Robo Bay. Meanwhile, we can see an Evolution Chamber finishing for Serral. He'll probably be getting +1 missile attacks off of that, and getting his, yep, there it is, the Hydroden. And there's the third base for, or should be third base very shortly for Zeth.
So it really is just going to be a passive game here as he gets his robotics facility up. He's just looking to macro on up, and Roach Hydra style out of Serral is interesting. He's yet to start any real upgrades from his Evolution Chamber. And he's probably going to go Ling Hydra, I suppose, here.
Yep.
And then from there, transition maybe into Mutalisk. It's a very strong transition on this map. Alternatively, he could try and go straight up to Vipers, but I don't really like that option so much anymore.
I think if he tried to do that, he would kind of put himself into what I would say a risky situation, because if you take a look at the timing of the Robo Bay versus the timing of the Infestation Pit, he is producing a couple of Hydras, which does eat into his gas count, and there are going to be Colossi out before there are going to be any Vipers, even if he goes for the fast Hive here as the Infestation Pit finishes. So he'll have to, I mean, the difference in time is not great, but he will still have to buy a little bit of time on his side to get those 3 Vipers up, and he'll have to be really careful with his gas spending here. What I would like him... I mean, the other option, obviously, you have is to go Corruptors and try to take a 4th base and play more of an older style.
Without taking the 4th base, he's definitely got to do something here, and it is that fast Hive. So I think he's starting to make some Roaches now as well, so it's looking as though this is just going to be kind of a Roach Ling Hydra time with them Vipers out. And of course a lot of this comes down to the scouting from, Zeth. He needs to be able to see, which he will with these 2 hallucinated Phoenixes. They just don't get caught by these Hydras. Or maybe they will, actually. One goes down, the other one very low. But he already sees a fairly late 4th base, and he will not get confirmation of the Hive, but he's got to suspect at least something is happening here. But that being said, and if he'd seen that Hive instantly, we'd probably see a Templar Archives. Templars out ready to feed back them Vipers, but as it stands, he's just getting Blink +2.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, usually when you see Hive, you got to get those HTs up. Because take a look at the army composition right now. The majority of the army, the ground army that is, are sentries. And once those force fields run out, you are pretty much dead with this kind of army versus any form of aggressive Hydra push. And since Serral is pretty much at the saturation point with his drones at this point in time, he can just start building only army units and army units only, max out really quickly and go for it. 2 Hydras on the way, so he'll probably get 1 or 2 more just to be safe, gather up that energy and go for it. But 6 gateways are just about to finish for Zeth. Is he going to have enough units without those HTs?
I mean, these Vipers, they still have to get some energy here, of course, as well. 1 gateway is going to go down here, but that's about it. Now the Templar Archives coming down, and it's only a 50-second build time, and of course Templars, they can feed back instantly, and that's all he's going to need here. Later on, he will maybe look to research Storm if this is a continued composition from Serral. But as it stands, I don't think Serral's really going to be looking so great in a couple of minutes, because he's going to attack with this Viper time, but he's only going to have 3 Vipers. There's Phoenixes here as well, which could maybe be used to try and pick them off, but in general, these Templars are going to be out and in full force, looking to just kill them. So this is going to be really hard to make work for Serral, and he's going to have to really just out-position the Protoss army, I think, if he wants to do anything, but these Templars are already in front and ready to feed back.
Yeah, they are, but at the same time, I think we have seen a similar battle not long ago, precisely in this position, and it's not the best position for the Protoss army to be in, I don't think. Look how careful Serral is with those Vipers. Instantly and now the Colossi are exposed. He can start abducting those. The High Templars are in the back, but Serral being a little bit undecisive. He does have a great concave here. 1, 2, 3. One goes down. Second goes, well, not down.
But now they're a little bit unprotected at the back, and there is some units to the north side, but Zealots are kind of overrunning the main army here. Second Colossi will not go down here in the end, and Serral is more or less deflected, but he didn't lose that much. He lost his 3 Vipers, but it's not a huge amount. And he lost some Roach Hydra, but again, it's not that huge. The problem I really have for him right now is he's got no gas bank. He's remaking Roach Hydra Viper, and this is a composition which is only effective for so long now. There's only 2 Colossi here in this army after killing off 1, and 1 is very low HP. And that's basically all the splash. There's no storm. So this composition could be a lot more effective, especially if Zeth stays out on this in this open area and on the edge of this creep for a little bit too long.
Yeah, and Zeth knows that he would be in a dangerous situation were he to venture further out on the map, and this is exactly what Serral wants. He's taking a 5th base in the lower right portion of the map. If he can make one more trade, I mean, his gas count is going to start rising right now. If he can make one more trade, he can tech switch. And there is the +1 air weapons, couple of corruptors coming out, gas is being taken immediately after, at the 5th base of Serral, and he is looking for that trade right now. You can see how he's maneuvering with his army. He's looking for some good abducts. If he can kill a couple of Colossi.
He's going for the Nexus on the 4th base, and he should be able to get this with these Roaches. A really nice pick off, forcing the cancel here. Now running in from behind, and these Templars are out of position as 1, 2 Colossi go down instantly, and the low health Colossi is all that's left. A few Phoenix going down as well, and that was a trade that anyone would have taken at the snap of a fingers.
Yeah, that was very well done. At the same time, we have a little bit of harassment at Zeth's 3rd base in the form of 4 Roaches, getting defended by 2 Zealots and a DT. Overall, the worker kill count, however, is not that great throughout this game, favoring Serral greatly, but only 7 probes have gone down and 2 drones. So both players pretty much playing very tentatively and very, very cautiously here. Additional Stargates coming up. What I think is not out of the question is the Mutalisk switch, and by adding a 2nd Spire, I think it becomes pretty apparent what Serral is up to.
Look at his multitasking. Again, he's going to get the 4th base with these Roaches after pulling the army to the north, and again, forcing the cancel and straight out of there with them Roaches. DT's walked in to defend. But these Roaches, they're pretty much worthless at this point in the game. And there's the Muta Tech Switch, 17 on the way. But with 3 Stargates up, this is something which Zeth can deal with, but he doesn't really have the money.
He can't make any Phoenixes even if he had the money. He's almost maxed out. He cannot make those Phoenixes. Serral, how long is he going to wait? How long is he going to hide those Mutas for? He is moving his main, the bulk of his forces through the north side, targeting the 3rd base. I think he's looking to trade some supply right now so that he can get even more Mutalisks. He's not going to be attacking with them just yet.
Again, up to this north side, just putting a few units over here to pull this army out of position as a War Prism is getting chased down by these Mutalisks. So, you know, he knows the Mutas are here, and he's even added on another Stargate Battle Knob, but is that really going to do too much? I don't think so.
Well, he still can't make any Phoenixes. He is making 2 right now, but he's constantly maxed out. And, you know, with those Mutalisks out there, here's the thing. Both players want to trade supply right now. Zeth needs more supply in order to get more Phoenixes, and Serral wants to have more supply to get more Mutalisks. So it's going to come down to a situation where who makes the more efficient trade, I feel.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's a few more Phoenixes coming up here and there. 3 in the production tab right now. And, well, these Roaches and Hydras look as though they might get caught off to this top side. But now these Mutas are just going to come straight into this 4th base, and there's nothing to defend these Mutas. He knows they're all up to the north. And this is a nice little trade-off. A couple of cannons going to get a few workers on his way out as well. And this is just the start of the damage that, you know, people do with Mutalisks. And again, he's looking to posture up to this top side, picking off pylons and just genuinely being annoying. And Zeth is really struggling to go to both places. Storm is on the way though, and he's got a lot of high energy Templar, and that is going to be a big
pulse
factor.
Annual pulse crystals are about to finish, and the Phoenix count has risen all the way up to 8 during all of this time. But versus 23 Mutalisks, I mean, I definitely have to give the advantage in terms of composition to Serral maybe here. He's getting double ups for his air and adding more mutas. At this point, it would be wise actually for him to avoid trading supply with the Protoss player. Because he does not want him to free up supply for more Phoenixes away. So Zeth very slowly getting into a better and better position. But wow. This is a nice move. Army completely out of position for Zeth. And a lot more probes are going to go down. 47!
The Phoenixes here went a little bit too far forward. They ran right into the middle of the muta ball. And, you know, the Vipers are here as well. They're actually abducting Phoenixes. That's so smart. Wow.
Oh, that's
and
cute.
now there's like 4 Phoenixes left, which realistically isn't enough. He's trading very well with these Neolisks here, and he's still got this army up to the top. He's got bases in the top left, he's got bases in the bottom right. Serral is just everywhere on the map, and you know Zeth is still struggling to defend 4 bases.
Serral is playing the United States of America right now, having bases in all the countries in the world.
Oh man, he's getting out here. Another abduct comes down, and I think the last Viper has just fallen, but they've paid their weight in gold, and now a Void Ray is going to go down. And another Phoenix. This muta controller is on top of things, but there's a Storm! And that's something he's going to have to be very careful of in this game from now on. Now he knows that's been revealed.
Dodges 2 additional ones, but and at the same time he constantly keeps on harassing with the remaining Hydras at the top base. 62 probes! 62 friggin' probes have been killed already.
I mean, he just doesn't have an economy. It's alright if you're down on 40 workers and you already had a